Film Autopsy.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, man, Blade. It's such a shame we'll never see him in a movie again. What a bummer, man, huh?
No,
Well, there's only one Blade.
That's right.
Yes,
Only
yes.
one. But anyway, well, that sets it up, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. Hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the July Action Film Autopsy in August.
Yes.
July somewhere.
That's right. That's right. It's July in our hearts and our minds and on the top of our heads where all the burns are.
Well, the burns are.
Yeah.
What's
Anyway,
going on, everybody? It's your boy, Preston, PhatSamuraiGuy. We are back again with another Action Film Autopsy episode. Kung Fu Santa Ric Meyers has returned. He's got the shirt. That's right.
Wolverine's down here, but Deadpool's on the inside, I think.
He's on the inside.
Yeah.
Copy that. And the commentary beast, Frank J, has returned. Oh, yeah. Oakland's son. That's right. Represent.
Yeah, he's taken off time from work for us, so we're gonna get to most of his reviews first, or very close to first.
Yes, we are. But let's say hello to chat. Everyone's here right now. Certified Badass channel members.
Jake
Hall in the house. What's going on? Jet Tiger. Good to see you. Michael Gonzalez. Danish of Lady is here. Good to see you. Thomas Lewis in here, all the way from Finland. Oh my goodness!
Oh my God!
The home of Sisu, son. Yeah.
Relentless.
What's going on? Brian Sanchez. Good to see you. Cameron. Good to see everyone. Thanks again for watching. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Rick, what do we have first?
Well, hopefully all these wonderful people from all over the world will come back on Monday, where we're going to be doing our recap and playlist of our 27th annual Kung Fu extravaganza. There we go. There's the whole happy gang. And it was a happy gang, too. So come back on Monday and we'll tell you all about that. But for now, we'll tell you about what I, Frank, and Phat watched in July. And let me start quickly because it's a recap. It's not a recap. It's putting a cap on the head of the Acolyte. I want to get that out of the way because I had a revelation. First of all, the last episode happened in July of maybe the first season and maybe of the series. We'll see what happens. But I had a revelation. In fact, I had a revelation in the bathroom just before this started, where I was eliminating some liquid. And I suddenly was going, oh my God, I know who the Acolyte is. Because what has been happening is that Lucasfilm, ever since Disney assigned somebody to take it over, has been destroying its heroes. See what they did to Harrison Ford. See what they did to Han Solo. See what they did to Luke Skywalker. See what they did to Indiana Jones. And now see what they did in the Acolyte, which is now all the Jedis are the villains. Them taking all their heroes and turning them into villains. And I'm thinking about the Acolyte. So what is it? That is a student learning to be evil from a master. You know who the Acolyte is? Kathleen Kennedy. This is her. The Acolyte is her story.
Mic drop right there.
Exactly. So, let me ask, you want to ask me if I, ever want to see anything like from them again? I love heroes. I grew up with these heroes. They ruined, again, I have to go back to who was it saying, all these fans online fans, fangools were all saying, they stole my childhood. They ruined my childhood. Well, Kathleen Kennedy did ruin my childhood. So I just have to go, what a shame. But happy to state, and I think Frank will back us up on this one, that movies are coming back. Movies and movie theaters are coming back, baby. And they're coming back, maybe not with a vengeance, but with a promise. And so where do you want to start, Frank? Well, let's start,
Up to you.
Well, and then let's go with the slightest one, which is Despicable Me 4. Of course, I'm affiliated with Despicable Me. They didn't have me as consultant on this one, but they didn't need to. But tell me what your opinion was, Frank, on Despicable Me
Well,
4.
the plot was everywhere, but it was fun, and I had a good time watching it. I love the fact that they used K-pop this time. They
Mhm.
have several K-pop songs. I was pleasantly surprised. Blackpink, and then the one BTS. I mean, I
Mhm.
thought that was great. I mean, I always like to be surprised, so that was a surprise. Animation was great.
Well,
I watched in 3D, of course, and
of course.
yeah, of course. I liked some of the voice acting. I thought the voice acting was actually pretty good, like Stephen Colbert, and of course, what's his face? The
The
office.
fabulous, the fabulous what's his face? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the dubbing was great, and
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. That's right, Will Ferrell. Right, right.
Yeah.
I like the animation. I thought the animation was fantastic.
Of course.
Yeah, Minion was great. I love the little, that their take on superheroes. That was fun.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, in the end, I mean, I kept telling myself, yeah, maybe the plot isn't that great, and like there's so many things going on. But then again, you had a good time, and I love the fact that they kind of made it with adults in mind, from time to time, so that they knew that some of the jokes will be appreciated by older people like us. And even though the kids may not get it, we got it, and that was great. So no, I thought it was fine. Yeah, I had a good time. Yeah.
Well, one of the ongoing subjects of this particular month is the connection between the adults and the kids, because movies are becoming, for instance, Ryan Reynolds said he took his 5-year-old to Deadpool Wolverine. And and that is wildly violent, wildly profane. And at this point, because kids are open to virtually everything that is streaming, it's a different market. Now, let me ask you guys. Since I'm older than both of you, I grew up with cartoons. I grew up with Popeye cartoons and Bugs Bunny cartoons. And I was sad when they left and Hanna-Barbera took over with the Flintstones with that limited animation. But I grew up with all the great cartoons of the 40s, 50s, which were beautifully animated. And one of the things I noticed about Despicable Me 4, when you say the plot was all over the place, well, think back to any of the great Bugs Bunny or Roadrunner or Popeye cartoons. Are the plots really centered in those two? They had a 6-minute plot. But what I would recognize, especially after, Minions Rise of Gru, the one I did consult on, is that they are capturing the animation style of the classic era, in that we don't have to follow a plot. We're a cartoon. Let's have fun. You compare Minions Rise of Gru with Despicable Me 4, and you could see what they were doing, because they were realizing, because those movies are made in both Los Angeles and Paris, in France, because the studios are in both places and the directors are in both places. There's always an American director and a French director. And they noticed in the Despicable Me 1 and 2 that there was a sort of a drop off in the audience between 1 and 2, because they were trying to follow a plot. They were trying to create a through line. And then basically the Minions spoke to them. The Minions sort of said, you don't have to do that. Just be entertaining. Just give the audience fun. Because again, the Minions are creatures who go by their own rules, and everybody else follows, and the relationship they created. That's the other thing that's happening nowadays, which is another thing that Deadpool Wolverine was talking about. Because even though Deadpool Wolverine is insane, it's also anchored. And what it's anchored by is by the emotions of the leading characters, no matter how crazy they get. Same thing with Despicable Me, and same thing with several things that we'll be talking about. So the important thing is that it was entertaining, and in this case, you could bring the whole family to it. No matter whether there was an adult humor or kids humor, you can bring the whole family.
That's
I'll
good.
Yeah. No, I mean, you brought up a good point. Now, I'll point out one thing. When I went to see Deadpool vs. Wolverine, in front of me sat this family, mom and dad and the kid.
Right.
And what amazed me was, one, that the R-rated violence had no effect on the kid. The kid wasn't scared or crying, nothing. The kid was, enjoying it. Two, when they showed the Alien Romulus trailer, granted, it can be scary for kids, for that trailer. And the kids, right after that trailer ended, the kid said, that was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, with all these cartoons now, Rick and Morty and all the stuff that really pushes up the violence.
Mm-hmm.
And also, all these things are Roadrunner cartoons with blood. In other words, Roadrunner cartoons are just as violent, if not more so.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't have blood.
Yeah,
Now
just
they
like
have blood.
yeah. I mean, the kids are not phased by violence and gore anymore. Like when I went to see that Father Day special screening of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the kid never flinched. At any scene, like remember the last scene when he drank that rail water and it turned into this scary skeleton, whatever.
Yeah.
The kid didn't like squirm away, nothing. They just watch it, no emotion, no. I mean, there's no obvious like repulsion or what have you, or like covering the eye, nothing like that.
Yeah, now I completely understand the Fast and the Furious movies, the John Wick movies, because none of the characters get hurt. There's no pain. The audience can't feel anything. Because, I mean, and certainly Deadpool Wolverine was very obvious with this. There are all these fight scenes with two indestructible people beating the crap out of each other, and it has no effect. But it's still entertaining because of the way they choreograph it.
Right.
It doesn't have to have meaning anymore. And the emotions they don't go into pain. They go into deep emotions, not pain emotions. So that's fascinating to me. Next movie.
Yeah, I mean, just one last word. I mean,
yes, please.
Like you said, like you grew up watching cartoons. I grew up watching cartoons and stuff, but I watch anything that's on TV. But nowadays, it just seems like the kids are just watching whatever their parents are watching. So if their parents are horror film, they grew up watching horror film, and all that jazz. So yeah, it's like nothing fazed them anymore.
And do either of you guys get into TikTok?
No.
I watch TikTok about an hour a day, 45 minutes to an hour a day.
Wow.
And that's, I'm doing my impersonation of the kids. And they're watching TikTok. And TikTok is just of a cornucopia variety of everything. In 1 second it's one thing, next second it's another. But the strongest entertainment survives on TikTok. So every single thing has to be laser pointed. So that's one of the things. The kids are, I don't think they're inured. I think they know what pain is when they go out, and if a bully goes after them, they know what that is. So it's not like you see TikTok, so nothing can harm me. Because even as a kid, I knew that an anvil, if you got actually hit by an anvil, that would be bad. But in the cartoon, I didn't get all worked up like, some of the other people did. So it's fascinating that, again, people are people. History repeats itself. But I think it's going to turn out okay in terms of entertainment. Next movie.
All right.
And this one is entirely you, Frank. I'm going to be fascinated. Customs Frontline.
Boom.
The story of your life. This hidden biography of Frank Cheng.
I mean, like I said, when I watched it,
look, that's him on the left. Look, there's Frank on the left. Same haircut and everything.
Like when I watched these movies, oh damn, I was working for the wrong customs. I mean, like, damn, these guys are having fun. I mean, it's dumb fun. What can you say? I mean, like there's a revenge plot that they just completely forgot about halfway into the film. Nicholas kind of muck at the camera and doing his usual, like he's trying to do this emotional stuff when it's actually sometimes laughable. But the action was great. I mean, Herman Yao knows how to do action now. Like before I said Dante Lam is like the Michael Bay of Hong Kong cinema. Now I think it's Herman Yao. Dante Lam kind of toned down his stuff lately after all these operation movies. So Herman got to take over. And you have to give credit to him. He stages action well. He knows that people like gun action, so he boosts up the volumes of the gunfire. The gunfire sounds like wow, nice, all that jazz. And with that said, though, I knew that the film kind of emphasized, Nicholas Zay, did the action. I still feel that he's not quite there yet. There's one scene where he obviously is trying to, imitate or trying to like replicate or pay tribute to Jackie Chan style action. And there's one long scene where he fights a whole bunch of goons, unedited shot, multiple text and stuff. But they use CGI for baby powder. It's like, why?
Yeah, it's so distracting.
Yeah, why are you using CGI for baby powder? Why did and also it just feel like, well, whatever he was trying to do action wise is just a little bit notch below Jackie and notch below. I mean, quite a few notches below Jackie, to be honest. And you compare that you compare the action he does in this film with, say, the action we saw in Twilight of the Warriors. Yeah, I mean, Twilight is on a whole other level. Still, yeah. I mean, I think it's fine that he's doing action, but I just think that is not as special or as outstanding as what the PR machine wants you to believe in. That's all.
Well, he's just trying to make a living at this point. And also, in terms of Herman Yao, my favorite is, of course, Ip Man Final Fight, and the fights aren't up to that because, again, they're basically making it with the same schedule and approach to the streaming movies, which can be just as good depending on who's choreographing them.
But the story itself is really not that great. You have this kind of really like what the fuck development of Jackie Chan's characters, and what the hell, man. And then also I don't know whether it was me or just the general consensus, but it almost seems like a lot of the Hong Kong actors appearing in these films look uninvolved, look tired, look bored. Like, this was like the reunion between Jackie Chan and Karina Lam since July Rhapsody. They were so good in July Rhapsody. Here, it's almost like you look at Karina Lam, it's almost like she's phoning it in. You know what I mean? It's like she's just saying her lines. She's not giving any energy to it. She looks bored. She looks frustrated. I mean, it's like, come on, give me some juice. You know what I mean? Like,
Fat, bring up the poster again. Look at the expressions on their faces. Look at the expressions. Nicholas is trying a little bit. Jackie is kind of like, paint me as if I'm a mannequin. And basically, I completely agree with you. And also, I think they are phoning it in. They are collecting a check. That's it. They are putting it. They're doing the check. You can take the poster down now.
And also because of his, Jackie's character development, it's almost laughable to see him started doing. I mean, once the film got to that point where it would truly reveal, his emotional issues, it's like, wow, it's almost like common. It's like, I mean, the mugging, it's just not great acting. And you're saying, and I'm saying to myself, this was the guy who was in Tears Go By, Bullet in the Head. I mean, all these great movies where he did such a good acting, and here is almost like you said,
he's collecting a check.
Yeah,
and I don't blame him. Mm-hmm. And also, he has to do basically what the China Film Bureau tells him to do, so he will. But still, it's fun that we still have quality work on streaming, and I just feel for these guys. I don't, condemn them any way, shape, or form. I'm going, I know what you have to do to get by at this point.
And the action was good. Especially
that was my next question.
Yeah. Okay. Especially the climax with the sub. Well, I won't say anything. But
go ahead. How many of us are going to be able to see it soon? Just give us. This is a spoiler.
The finale.
The final fight was set on a submarine. I mean, the cargo ship with a submarine in the middle. So that was good. It was almost like, the spy who loved me shit.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but
that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, it was exactly what, and I admire Herman Yao for his ambitions. Like, I'm glad that there's still someone in Hong Kong who can do large scale action well, regardless of how bad the CGI may be from time to time. And I thought the CGI was great. I mean, it was fine. The CGI was fine. In the end, when they start hitting the Star Ferry stuff, I mean, that was good. I mean, the concept was good. I like the concept. I like how ambitious they try to up the end, and so that so to speak. So yeah.
All right. So let's go from that with frozen faces and not great CGI necessarily to something that hopefully has very animated faces and really good CGI. And you're the only one who's seen this movie, Twisters.
Well,
big sigh. He made a big twister himself.
No. This was like Midwestern romance drama. Oh no, I shouldn't say romance. Midwestern teenage or Gen Z drama disguised as a disaster film.
I hate it. Already.
And because the director Isaac Chung, who did Minari, because he's from Arkansas, so he's very good at showing these Midwestern country boy sentimentality and all that stuff. And then, I mean, the effects are good. The twister effects are good. But it's almost like there's certain subplot that went nowhere or forced. It felt kind of forced. And it's just not... when you compare the original, it still amazes me how the original still stands up all these years later. If you watch the effect between this film and the original, they aren't they aren't that different, you know. Like
Really?
the original, the
Wow.
effect of the original really still stood the test of time, you know. And as much as this film has good effect and good sound and all that jazz, I was just not. I mean, I wasn't thrilled by it. You know, I admire it, but I wasn't thrilled by it. And there's just too many similarities. You know, the original film had them in the climax set in the theater while they're showing The Shining. Here they have another similar climax where they're in the movie theater and all that jazz. So it's almost like it's too similar. You know, yeah. What's the point exactly? What's the point? Why are you replicating the original? Why can't you come up with something fresh? You know, why can't you do something more? Why they don't even have the balls to kill off the three, you know, one of the three main characters at the end. You know, they also survive.
Ooh.
You know, boo indeed.
Have some balls.
Yeah, have some balls. You know.
Keep the balls in the
But
air.
like I said, I actually found some of the drama scenes actually done quite well, and the middle part where they were going to the rodeo and you know that scene was actually much better than the climactic twist of it. The twister sequence through the rodeo much better than the final sequence.
So, Frank, is this a reboot or is this its own thing?
The only connection it had to the original film was the Dorothy machine, and they didn't even mention anything about it. Like they just show you, like in the beginning of the film, they show you the Dorothy machine, which Helen Hunt and the late Bill Paxton used in the original film.
Right.
But they didn't say anything about its origin and nothing about
Like
its relations to.
back in the 90s, this
and
technology was nothing like that.
Yeah, and also in the middle part when they introduced that girl's mom, you think, oh great, Helen Hunt's going to be her mom, so that so that's going to link up to the original film where in the end, so supposedly in the end, Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton got back together. They got they had a kid, and the kid turns out to be the girl in the remake or reboot. But turns out no, the mom is not Helen Hunt. It would have been great had they had Helen Hunt as the mom to tie everything together. But no, nothing like that. But yeah, what's the point? What's the point if you can't be as good as the first one?
Did they set up for another one? Okay.
And also, I don't think it did well enough, but we'll see. I'll check the box office.
Twisters.
Now, Frank, enough of your doodly dallying around. Go back to work. We will let you know when Deadpool Wolverine is ready.
Okay.
And viewers, do you think I'm going to do Deadpool Wolverine in the middle of the show? No, we're going to save it for the end.
Yeah, we should save it for the last.
Okay.
All
One
right.
thing I want to one
Yes.
thing I point out for Twisters though.
Oh yeah, please.
I do think that the two leads were charming. I do think that Glenn Powell does have some. Glenn Powell reminds me of like say Paul Newman or Robert Redford in a way.
Oh.
So it is a
Right.
kind of like a star in the making. He does have that old school star charm, which I kind of like. Now, if you want to compare him with like Tom Cruise, I don't think he's quite Tom Cruise yet, but I think with time he might achieve that level. He might be like our next Brad Pitt. Who knows? But
And also, he's much taller.
yeah, he's much. Yeah, he was charming. I have to say. I did like. Yeah, I mean, so yeah.
Yeah.
Right. See you in a bit, Frank.
All right.
Back to work, dude.
Adios.
Frank will return.
We'll see you soon.
See ya.
All right. Now, I thought he'd never leave. Anyway, I actually knew when he was going to leave. Let's get back to the beginning of the thing. We're going to go. We started with the Acolyte, which is Disney Plus, and because I always compare kung fu movies to combinations of singing and dance, opera and musicals. So of course I had to watch Descendants 4: Rise of Red. I mean, I like the stars. I like all the stars. I've heard the songs.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to them doing a neato job. And it's really interesting in that, let's see. Yeah, great cast, good soundtrack, great costumes. It looks like a school production, which is interesting because probably the most successful musical on Disney Plus has been High School Musical. But they could get away with making it look like a High School Musical in High School Musical because it's about a high school musical.
Right.
Here, this is supposed to be a fantasy land. And I maintain, if you watch the individual musical numbers, especially on TikTok, It's good. It's a good time. It's very good. The songs are good. The choreography's okay. But when you see it as the entire movie, it has a very flat look and no extra oomph. The best things now is that go back to the poster again. The three leads, the two girls at the top, and there's one more. They're not showing the other one. That's weird. There's a blonde who's just a
Is that Brandy?
That's Brandy. That's Brandy.
What?
That's
Is
Brandy.
she playing Cinderella?
She's playing. I think she is. I think she's
oh my goodness.
playing the queen.
Back in the 90s? Was that the 90s or early 2000s? There was like a Cinderella TV movie.
So now,
Whitney Houston.
Because the movie itself is not really engaging the audience, the three major young female stars are reproducing the musical numbers on TikTok in normal clothes. Not normal clothes, but
right.
they're modern clothes. Okay. Now it's going, so they're very smart. They're pushing it ahead, but the movie itself was ultimately a disappointment. And it could have been so good because it had all the makings. I didn't
even know there was a Descendants 2.
Oh yeah, and 3. And 3. This is the 4th. And it follows the plot. And again, it was, each one is, depending on who's directing it, I have to attribute the flatness of this to the director because they had all the ingredients. It just wasn't presented well.
Oh, okay.
Now let's get off Disney and go over to Amazon.
I have not seen the first film of My Spy.
Well, I can recommend the first film.
Okay.
It's by Peter Siegel. Peter Siegel wrote and directed that. He also did the Naked Gun sequels, and he did the Get Smart remake. He's not an outstanding director, but he has a history with comedy, and if he has, and so he does a decent job. The first one was an entertaining little movie. This one has a pretty bad taste in its mouth. James M. Churchman, what a great name. James M. Churchman, who was also the stunt arranger and the fight choreographer for Madam Web, the new John Woo Silent Night, and playing the what's his name?
Butler.
Gerald Butler's movie.
Yeah, which I still haven't seen yet. But
the Venom Carnage movie. He did the choreography for all of those things. But here the choreography is, the whole idea of this one, go back to the poster. The young woman on the right there was a little kid in the first one.
Right.
And she bonded here. She's like a 15-year-old agent for all the agents over on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
And she and another female character, the one next to Ken Jeong, they get kicked in the face. Wow. And I'm like going, wow. And that's pretty much where it's not nearly as fun as the first one. Fula Borg, the great German comedian, plays the villain, and he plays it totally straight. He plays it as a German sadist who will kick 15-year-old girls in the face. So if you enjoy 15-year-old girls and young women being kicked in the face, this is the movie for you. But it's simply not as funny or as joyful. And also, another mistake they make is that they make Dave Bautista behave as if he's on the scale. They make him behave as if he's autistic. And I don't know where all their thoughts are coming from, but they weren't fun to me, and I really did enjoy the first one. I admit the first
character wasn't like that in the first one.
No,
that's
he
bizarre.
was a fairly Here he has supposedly retired from being a secret agent, but that apparently makes him DOA in his behavior and his personality. And Dave is no John Cena, and I never thought I'd ever hear anyone say that. Dave Bautista is no John Cena, because John Cena has gotten really good, but he is a good Dave Bautista. Of course, he was in the Guardians of the Galaxy. We know what he can do, And
Right.
here he's not doing it, and I have to assume that's because he was directed not to do it, or he like the guys in Customs Frontline are just collecting a check.
Right. Right.
That it's made. Now, let's get out of my Amazon. We're going to get back to Amazon because I got a preview of the new Batman show, The Cape Crusader, on Amazon Prime, open today. And I already had a preview of that, so I shouldn't review that. I should wait till next month. But all I can say is that I recommend you watch it.
Nice.
It's
cool.
Pretty,
I heard good things.
Yeah, right. It's Tim. But let's see. Let's go over to Netflix and let's start. What should we start with? Beverly Hills Cop Axel F or Orlando Bad?
Let's do Foley.
Okay, because you've seen that one.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us what you thought.
Well, I just did a whole episode, you guys. If you missed it, check it out. I went through all of the movies leading up to the fourth one and all that. So if you guys want to hear my thoughts on other movies, check out that episode with Radical Reggie. This felt like the apology film for the third movie. And we were so happy. It was like it borderlined on the member berries, but it didn't overdo it, in my opinion, which is good. It was a good balance. The daughter character was a little bit of a bummer once in a while throughout the film, kind of dragged the movie. But overall, it felt like a nice, big, warm hug to the fans and was like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're sorry for that last movie. It's going to be all right. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it reminded me in terms of the relationship with the daughter. It reminded me of the relationship with the daughter in Beekeeper. Again,
right?
Yeah, they're all both of the daughters are sticks. Both of them are going like, no, rather than, of course, jump. Thank you, Raka. It's of course we're all waiting for them to all work together, but no, we have to create contrived controversy and contrived conflict. Yeah. Same thing with Fubar, Schwarzenegger's show. It's all contrived conflict. Just team up, do the job. Come on, give us some fun. Let us relax. And of course, it's a Netflix TV movie. So of course, it's at least 15 minutes too long because they have all these. They said, "All right, we've had the comedy, we've had the thing. Now let's have relationship talks in the car. Let's whenever we get in the car, I'm going, don't get in the car because you're going to start talking about stuff." And you could see very clearly in the movie how long each of the characters from the original films were contracted for. Right, I mean, they only had what's his name for like maybe 3 days, and so he's not in the movie. But it is still. I wouldn't call it a very warm hug. I would call it a little kind of arm around the shoulder, pat on the back. I mean, they don't get far as hugging because of. Yeah. But it's always great to see. Yeah, it's always great to see Eddie get some of his fire back.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice to see, and I
you go.
Watching all of them in a row. Watching all of them in a row, I think the fourth one might have the best action in terms of shootouts and stuff. I think.
Well, that helicopter crash pissed me off, but anyway. See, wait a minute, Damo. I noticed you put in a little note, Damo. Are you named after my character or the character in my Ninja Master books? Because I changed my character from Brett Wallace to Damo. And Damo in Japanese is nobody, and that's why he's a ninja. So Damo, did you get it from there? Did you
let us know?
Hey Shin, it was yes. I don't know if it was a great film, but it was a watchable film. Speaking of watchable films, Land O' Bad. I don't call it Land of Bad. I call it Land O' Bad. And No Man Left Behind, and deservedly so. But what? You see that cast list? Hemsworth, Crow, Hemsworth, Crow. Here's the deal. Can you think of another movie that's similar to this? A soldier left behind, needing to get out. They need to get the soldier out. They need to get the character out of the bad place, literally the land of bad. Can you think of another Hemsworth on Netflix who had a movie just like that? Just like that? I swear this movie came to be because we're at the Hemsworth house. They're all looking at Thor and they're going, well, that was a great movie. Well, I want a movie like that. And then the other brother goes, hey, I want a movie like that too. Yeah, we want a movie like that. Okay, guys. I'll talk to Netflix. And they go, hey, my brothers want a movie just like that. Hey, that's okay with us. Here's $75 million. Go ahead. And I swear to God, that's what they did. But I am extremely happy to report that they did a good little. This was, to my mind, did anybody ever hear of or see Operation Kid Brother? After the success of Sean Connery and James Bond, they gave Sean Connery's brother.
Yes, I've seen it. It's a Mystery Science Theater episode.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's a terrible movie, but they gave his little brother a James Bond-like movie, which was awful. But this was not awful. This was a good little brother movie. They said, all right, we don't have to spend as much, and we got two Hemsworth for the price of one. No, they probably got two Hemsworth for the price of two Hemsworths. But they got little brothers, two little brothers. I would love to find out from the Hemsworth whether they were paid together as much as their big brother was paid alone.
Probably.
But it's still okay. It's really interesting. William Eubank is the director. It's his first film since he directed Paranormal Activity in 2021.
Oh my God.
And the choreographer was Kenny Lowe, who is very well named because he was also the choreographer of the live action Mulan, which has some of the worst kung fu that has been in a movie with Jet Li and Donnie Yen ever. So, but Land of Bet is better because, of course, they're not doing kung fu. They're doing military stuff. And we'll get more into the military stuff in a little bit. Let me see. What's the movie? Oh, yeah.
Solid flick.
Solid flick. Entertaining flick. And yeah, so now we're going to jump from the movie theater to Netflix, because another wonderful thing about Netflix is that they are our America's home headquarters for great Indian, Bollywood, Telugu, Tamil films. And there's one out in the theater now, which is Kill. That's also an Indian film. And there are two major new releases, and they have new ones all the time, on Netflix. And what I love about the two that came out, which is Maharaja. Do you have the poster? Yeah. Look at that poster.
Man.
Now look at another poster, Bade Minyan. What's the full title? Because I only do Bade. Bade Minyan Chot Miyan. Oh yeah, Bade Minyan Chot Miyan. I didn't realize it was two guys. Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Malaysian, and Kannada. Yeah, they're doing all the languages. Now look at those two posters. Go ahead. We've got Yin. Show the next poster. Yang. These together, these make up the nature of modern Bollywood cinema, and also Bollywood cinema trying to find its new place in the world. Because of Netflix, they are now everywhere. Originally, right after I finished my first martial art movie book back in 1985, the next one I was planning was a book on Bollywood films in 1986. The problem was that at this point, there was no Netflix. So, and unlike Kung Fu movies, they weren't being translated and put on television. Only the Indian audience really saw them. I saw them too, but they weren't subtitled and they weren't dubbed. So I couldn't put together. And also the publisher said, it's not going to sell enough because you're not Indian. The Indian audience is going to do it. But now we have all this stuff. But the thing is, now that they're going all over the world and everybody is seeing them, they're trying to figure out where they fit. One of the reasons I love Bollywood films is they're very much like Shaw Brothers films in that up until recently, they had their own reality. You could tell a Bollywood film. One of the major ways you could tell a Bollywood film was that suddenly there would be a musical number.
Right.
Even in slasher movies, there would be a musical number. I'll never forget that movie. And RRR, which came, was a huge hit, won the Oscar. They also sort of put a chill throughout Bollywood going, what are we going to do now? Are we going to continue to go along that line? So you look at Bade Minyan, you look at Maharaja especially. Maharaja is 2 hours and a half or 2 hours and 20 minutes, no musical number.
What?
I've seen more and more, and I'm not happy about it. I've seen more and more Bollywood movies that don't have a musical number. I'm going, guys, that is your identity. That what makes you, from my mind, that's what makes you a Bollywood movie. That gives an extra sequence that brings it into your own unique world. We don't do that. No one else in the rest of the world does that. You should not stop doing that, because once you do that, once you take the musical number out, you're going to be compared to everything else, and you're not always going to win the comparison.
Well, I was surprised you said it was only 2 hours and 20 minutes. I was
well,
surprised.
most of
that's pretty
actually
short. That's short, isn't it?
Kill is an hour and 45.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
anything over 2 hours is pretty much standard now.
Okay.
You know, they don't really do the 3 hours now as much as they used to.
Okay.
Because they got the 3 hours because they had more than one musical number. What's happening with some of my favorite ones is they have one musical number and then they have a closing credit musical number. But the 3 hour ones, they had like 7 musical numbers.
Right.
So that's why those were 3. So it's interesting. Bade Minyan is pretty much everything that, first of all, it is clearly a Hindi movie, because Hindi movies are the ones that still have the really identifiable movie stars. These are not normal people. These are movie stars.
Tiger, man.
Yeah,
Tiger's
it's Tiger Shroff, Ashke Kumar. They're just awesome, but they're movie stars. The plot of this thing is just DOA. It's a slightly future world where everybody's a clone. Everybody's a clone. This is like the multiverse just beaten into the ground. All these characters can be killed, but they'll immediately come back because they're clones. So what the F is the point?
Okay.
And, you know, look at those guns and look at those missiles.
Yeah.
I mean, what new filmmakers have to do is you have to follow the plot. You cannot take your new plot and graft it onto your own movies. We'll get more into that when we get to Kill. You need to think about what you're doing and how you can satisfy the audience. This was a huge bomb.
Oh, really?
In Bollywood. It's of course it's on Netflix. There are no huge bombs on Netflix. People are still going to watch it. I watched it. But again, it was like ludicrous. It's just like so stupid and silly at the same time. Still entertaining. But no effect. Just absolutely no effect.
Right.
Now, let's go to Maharaja. Maharaja, that's a really good poster. It tells you a lot. It's a mystery. It's written and directed by, as you see, Nithalan, who goes usually by one name at this point. That's the name. He doesn't do his last name much. You can tell this is not a Hindi movie because look how real all the actors look. They don't look like movie stars at all.
Yeah.
They look like normal people. And that is a very telling. He goes to the police and asks them to find what is translated as ash can or ashtray or recyclable tray. And of course, he's treated terribly. And his performance is very powerful because he pretty much keeps this expression throughout. But it's his internal energy, his acting skill that keeps him. I couldn't take my eyes off him.
Wow.
And I'm watching it. I love mysteries anyway. I've read hundreds of mysteries, if not thousands of them. And when this turned into a mystery, I'm just like, I'm getting more and more involved. And it's again 2 hours and 20-minute mystery. And they keep surprising. But the surprises are not big explosions and big, gunfights and big musical numbers. There's these little tiny things which just made me go, oh, things have changed. The ending, the ending is like, now usually I'm Mr. Spoiler boy. I love spoiler boys. If you guys have 2 hours and 20 minutes, you like mysteries, you want to see an exercise in what are we going to do for the future. Still felt it could have used a musical number, but maybe not. You guys will have to decide. Wow, it was a real punch in the gut.
Wow. All
It was
right.
a punch in the gut.
It's going on the list.
Yeah, and the action, by the way, is very realistic. There is not, I wouldn't say there's a lot of action. In the beginning and at the end, there's action. But it's, again, because these are not movie stars, this is human action. And it's also incredibly emotional. They're not trying to win. They're trying to get their pain out. And yeah, you'll see. It's just a fascinating, yeah.
Nice.
Whoa.
All right.
Whoa. And now Kill.
Okay,
Kill,
so before you get into it, Rick,
yeah.
Before the buzz for Kill came out,
yeah,
I just saw this trailer called Kill. I was like, what the
Right.
hell is this? And I clicked on it and I was like, ooh, because you know what kind of movies I like, Rick.
Yes.
So I was hoping, I haven't seen it yet. Shout out to Kyle Long. He really enjoyed it.
Oh,
But
hey, Kyle.
I was hoping that this movie would give me what I wanted out of Bullet Train.
Bullet Train?
And I was disappointed. Yeah.
Wait a minute. You mean, hold on. You wanted it out of Bullet Train, or wait a minute, or Monkey Man? Which one are you thinking of?
No, because this is on the train, right?
Kill's this is on a train.
So what I want, I was hoping Kill would give me what I wanted out of Bullet Train, is what I'm saying.
Well, knowing you might be okay.
Okay.
And I'd love to talk to Kyle. Kyle, if you want to come on at some point, so we can talk about Kill, because I wanted Kill to do what Monkey Man didn't.
Okay.
And Monkey Man had some plot issues.
And
so does Kill.
Okay.
Almost the same ones, which made me sad. And it's interesting because this is, again, I think, a Tamil or a Telugu movie. And the leading actor really, you see him there. Yeah. This is his first film.
Oh, wow.
He acts like he's been in the business for years. This is his first film. You can also see knife, bar, hammer, axe, knife, axe, knife. And he's got a chain or whatever. Yeah. This, I think the best way, I was thinking throughout, is this the badass movie that Phat wants? Because this made me sad, because the leading character is introduced as one of India's top commandos. And, when I have friends, I worked with a Green Beret for the last 3 years. My best friend is an Israeli paratrooper. So I know what commandos are like. I know how they behave. This guy does not behave like a commando. And I was hoping this movie could have been one of the greatest action movies of all time. But they choose to do it this way. Again, he's on a train. He's going from the back of the train to the front of the train or whatever, or from the front of the train to the back of the train. And they decided to do the movie like this, when they should have done the movie like this. And I'm watching it and I'm going, and I'm choreographing it while I'm watching it. Because with all due respect, because basically the first 40, it's an hour and 45 minutes. The first 45 minutes is setting up. The last hour is action. Okay. With some breaks. And had they done it like this, again, amazing, because he's a commando. Right. So it's the same fight. It's the same fight throughout. Does anybody learn anything? No. They do different things. But there's the two major antagonists. It reminded me a lot of certain Hong Kong movies where they have a really venal villain, and throughout it, the hero is trying to get to the villain to finally put him down, and he keeps weaseling out. That's what the villain in here is like. I wanted him dead so badly. Kill that guy. Yeah. And you'll see why, because he deserves death 3 times, 4 times, 100 times over. Awful, just wonderful job. That's when they do the interviews with the stars. They do the interview with the hero and the villain, because he does a great job. but very. But the other guy, there's a huge muscle man, and again, this is always a bad sign when there's a huge muscle man, because as I know, when you know kung fu, muscles are irrelevant. In fact, you could use the muscles against them. Just put your thumb into the biggest muscle, and that guy will go down on his face. But it's like this commando has forgotten everything he must have been taught. And so he does. First, we have a whole bunch of fights, kind of cool, and everybody's just using blades. Nobody's got a gun. But he doesn't change. And also, I think you'll like it because it is badass, because the leading character, there he is over my shoulder, the leading character keeps on wanting to somehow, seemingly wants to prove how tough he is. So he'll just keep taking it. He won't get smart. He won't avoid it. He won't use the pressure points or the nerve points. He won't do any of that. He'll just bang, 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 bang. And it's like that Tak Sakaguchi movie, 400 versus 1. After 15 minutes or a half an hour, same thing. And the whole movie is designed, if they do it right, he takes on the first 4 guys.
Yeah.
And they've got blades and the hammers.
Mm-hmm.
And he should have learned something from the first fight. And I wanted to see what he learned in the next fight. And then he would have learned something more from that. And the next fight, he would have learned and he keeps on getting the big muscle man. And the big muscle, and they just keep pounding each other in the face with their closed fists. And he's a commando. And it's like he's learning nothing. And the thing is, there's the one in the middle section, the big muscle man. They keep coming back to him because they can't. They won't die. They won't lose consciousness. And he is choking our hero. Yeah. And our hero, and you'll see it in the movie. He's choking our hero. I don't have a little figure. All right. Let's say here's my little Bruce Lee. Here's my Bruce Lee. He's choking Bruce Lee. Let me get to the side. Like this. He's not choking him like this. He's choking like this. He's choking him close. He's a commando. Do you know what commandos can do to somebody's head when they're that close to him? And meanwhile, his hands are just kind of like, I don't know what to do with my hands. And I'm saying, well, let me tell you what you should do with your hands. You should put your fingers deep into his eyes until you touch his brain. You should clap them over his ears so he's deafened. Worse come to worse, that place, that little bone right here, that if you break it, little tiny bone. Yeah. I hate to say it, Liam Neeson's wife died because she fell while she was skiing and she broke that bone. That's what killed her. Right. Now, I understand filmmakers don't want to teach the audience to hurt other people, except the rest of the movie is them hurting people with knives and things like that. So nobody can be smart. Nobody can be smart-ass. They all have to be brutal. And of course, by the end of it, it becomes ludicrous. It's just ludicrous. It's like, and for me, boring. I hope you'll love it. Okay. For me, it just became boring. And also, there we go. And the other thing is the ending. Spoiler alert, not really. It's the same basic ending as John Wick 4. And I've heard other badass loving people saying the ending is interpretable. You can interpret it. And I'm going, no, it's pretty fucking clear what happens at the end. I like the ending. It's deserved. It brings it back up, unlike Monkey Man, which has a bummer of an ending. They have the John Wick ending, which is kind of like, all right, I was cute. And watch the woman's face. Do you want me to give it away? Who wants me to give it away? Everybody raise their hand if they want me to give it away. Unless go ahead. It's on Netflix.
Kill is?
Yeah. Oh no, Kill is not. Kill is not. Oh. And you may never get to see it because it didn't do well.
Oh. They have it's coming out. It's coming out in 4K and Blu-ray soon. So
so you can watch it. Yeah. At the end of it, he gets off the fucking train finally. The cops show up with their guns. And and also I'm going, well, why is he just sort of like stumbling around and the medical guys aren't running to him and the cops are not running to him? And I went, oh, I know why. Because in the last half hour, he stabbed so many times, there's really no way for him to have survived. So sure enough, just like John Wick, he sits down on a bench, not just like John. Oh, John Wick just laid down in front of him.
On the steps, yeah.
But he sits on a bench in the train station. And he's throughout the whole thing, he's trying to steal the girl he loves and the girl who loves him away from her arranged marriage. And she is horribly murdered by this asshole villain that I wanted to die so bad.
Right.
Horribly. And that's fairly early in the movie. That's like 45 minutes in, and it's like, whoa, ho, ho. And so for the rest of the movie, he's trying to kill everybody, and validly so. So at the end of it, he sits down. She sits down next to him, and I don't know whether she can do it or they did it with VFX, but her eyes are like this big. Okay. She looks at him. There's this look at him like, going, wow.
It's John Wick's dog.
Yeah, it's John Wick's dog, or
yeah.
And she tells him, and so this is the only way I get to live throughout the rest of our time together. And then he just is like, and it fades. It's like, yeah, he's dead. They're together in heaven.
Yeah.
And that's cool, because I would not have tolerated him survive. John Wick just keeps surviving.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it wasn't what it should have been.
Well, hopefully, I'll think.
Oh, Michael, awesome. You thought it was awesome.
Hopefully, I'll think it's awesome. Like Michael.
You guys think it's awesome. Like it's not for me. And speaking of something I do think is awesome, call Frank back.
All right, I'll message him right now. Now, are we doing spoilers or no?
That's up to the audience. I don't care.
I'll have to put up a spoiler warning if we do it.
Viewers vote. I don't care. The Action Film Autopsy throughout its history has always been spoilerific.
All right.
Always. So if you don't want to, and really, this is Deadpool Wolverine. There's no way to spoil it. These guys,
one thing was spoiled for me, unfortunately, but I still loved it. So,
what was spoiled for you?
Well, hold on. Let me put up the banner.
Put up the banner. No, I don't see any way of spoiling this. Because you can spoil the cameo.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Oh, that crap! I don't care. I was just so delighted to see I was delighted to see, and I was expecting everybody anyway. Matter of fact, I was disappointed that they didn't have more cameos. I wanted Patrick Stewart at the end of this movie really badly.
The other X-Men should have been in there.
Yeah, exactly. Especially since he was going to come to his illegitimate in his womb sister. They mentioned that he was going to find her, and I wanted him at the last minute to come to her in her final moments and go, "I will find you."
There were also a couple of inconsistencies.
The
most glaring of which was,
so
he was looking for the Wolverine variant.
Right.
So when he found the right variant,
right,
that is not the same Logan as in the movie Logan, right? That is on the right. So how would he recognize X-23?
Because he knows the script. He keeps talking to us, the audience. He knows the story. He knows Kevin Feige. He's Marvel genius. Charles Jesus and genius. He knows everything. To quibble on something like that, to me, is just like, no, all bets are off. This is an entertainment value. There's no way everybody's going to be satisfied, because this is the closest thing I've ever seen to a sequel to Olsen and Johnson, Hell's a Poppin'. Do you know what Hell's a Poppin' is? Yep. It was a Broadway show, and then it was a movie where anything went. And so is this.
No, this was definitely fan service. And
excellent fan service.
Excellent fan service. As a fan, I was immensely satisfied. Plot inconsistency notwithstanding. But
what plot?
I know what plot. And I love a lot of. There were quite a few scenes where it's like straight out of a comic book, especially that bus scene. When I saw that bus scene, everybody talked about, oh yeah, it's great because it's set to Madonna. But no, the beauty of that scene was he was recreating a whole fucking panel.
You can break it down by
Yeah.
move. I want to go back and watch it a million times so I can break
That's
down.
right. The whole movie can be watched that way. You know, originally, my only disquiet, other than Patrick Stewart not showing up, was that it occurred to me that at the end there during the credits, that, you know, they had, what, 2 or 3 major fights between Wolverine and Deadpool. And all those fights are, I was asking myself, why weren't these fight scenes a waste of time? Because they're invulnerable. It's just them punching each other. It's little people punching each other, like in Time Bandits. So I'm asking myself, why did I like it? Because normally, like in Kill, I would have come down on it. I would have said, "Wow, they should have, you know, what?" But no, I realized comic book, cartoon, anything goes. They are playing out their emotions.
Right.
They're getting their anger out at each other and themselves. That's the other thing that I loved about it. They're also angry at themselves. They
especially the fight in the car, man.
Yeah.
Great.
And everybody, and again, they were and also the other reason that I loved it, because it had the other thing that I require from my favorite fight scenes. They fought in character. They never switched techniques. Deadpool always fought like Deadpool. Wolverine always fought like Wolverine. One had a sense of humor, one didn't, but wanted one. I mean, I think Wolverine was really very jealous of Deadpool because he could do. Yeah, look at that. I mean, and also you're looking at that. We have speaking of Popeye, we have a yellow anchor in this movie. He never breaks. He's always Wolverine. Even when he's other Wolverines, he always plays it totally straight. And I would strongly recommend, if you want to do a great double feature, also get the DVD or Blu-ray or stream it of The Greatest Showman. Because that's Hugh Jackman. That's Hugh Jackman's yin side. Have you guys seen that? Have you seen The Greatest Showman?
I know about it. I have not seen it, though.
It's awesome, especially in light of this.
I just like the fact that, you know, no one is immune from his target. You know, like Disney, Fox. I mean, everybody, even Hugh Jackman's divorce. You know, I mean,
the thing that really, when being the old man, of course, we saw it, I saw it with the rest of the Extravagang at 3:00 on the day of the thing. I had to get up and go to the bathroom because I'm the old man, and I missed the other Wolverines, including
the montage,
Super Wolverine.
Yeah,
and when Elisa told me what I missed, I went, "Oh my God, no! I can't stay and watch another show. I have to go do the Extravaganza."
Cavalry,
yeah. I am going to see it. I'm going to see it at least once more, and then when it comes out, I'll see it again and again and again and again.
By the way, the IMAX 3D was beautiful. It's not dim at all. It's not dark. It's beautiful.
Because ours was dark. I found out because we were in an AMC 20, and virtually every other theater in the place had a different version of this movie. And I was going, how was he able to get 14 tickets? We were in regular 3D. So I spent the whole time going,
no.
Because it was like watching it with sunglasses on.
No, IMAX 3D was beautiful. Just great. But I'm just trying to think. I mean, you know, the jokes are great. You know, I mean, quote, like, if you're a fan, you've been following what's happening, you get the most out of this film for sure.
Right.
Absolutely, no question. I was there at the birth of Marvel. I was there when the first comic books came out. I got to work with Marvel. And so I've been a Marvel guy since I was a kid. And so this thing, I don't care about the rest of you. This was made for me.
Yeah.
I mean, and also after Endgame, I judge virtually all movies in movie theaters. Did it make me laugh? Did it make me cry? Did it make me cheer? This made me laugh. This made me cheer. It didn't make me cry, but it made me stand up and applaud. Because when some of these cameos show up, I went, oh yeah. Come on,
Especially that
yeah,
one.
baby.
Especially that one. You know which
Yeah,
one.
I know which one you're talking about.
I was like, what? You know?
We alluded to it before.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, but
Yeah.
all of it. And there was a couple that got close, but man, that one was the best. And also,
That one also almost made me think, are they really gonna do another film with that character? It's almost like, are they telling us slyly that, you know what, we're gonna stick with this guy. We're not gonna go with a new guy. You know,
here's
all
the
the
deal.
problems, you know.
Here's the deal. The issue with him has always been, because I've met him several times, and he put on a kung fu film special on TV, and he had me consult, and he gave me all sorts of promises of money and also a ticket for the actual event, and he didn't come through on all of them. I didn't really blame him for that, because I heard, and I've seen evidence of, that that his career began to suffer because he was a major pothead. He could not stay concentrated, and also that he got difficult on the sets. Yeah, there you go.
There he is.
Yeah, and there I am too. So basically, yeah, that was a meeting before at Comic-Con.
You mean he got difficult while making those 3 films? You mean he got difficult while making those 3 films?
That I don't know if he has, but the reason his career fell off is because he was very difficult to deal with. I don't know about those 3 films, and I'm hoping that he's back. What was wonderful is when I saw him that one time, and he came into the waiting room for Hall H, and he saw why am I blanking on it? The rap guy? Come on, why am I blanking? Who has the Wu-Tang Clan? RZA. He saw RZA, and he sort of nodded to RZA, and then he saw me, and he said, "There's the man." And so then that's when we talked it out. So yeah, I'm hoping they do, because man, there's no question the reaction to him in this movie.
Oh yeah. No.
Which I would have had a heart attack if somebody didn't spoil it before I saw the movie. But
I'm glad you didn't have a heart attack. It was still a pleasure to see him, right?
Oh, I had a big smile the whole time.
Well,
I did not know that Blade was just gonna come walking in. I would have grabbed my wife's arm and squeezed it. I would have been like, "Oh my god!"
Oh yeah,
I still really
and I was greeting people just like, "What?" You know, like they were like,
"Stop spoiling shit before movies come out, people." Anyway,
just see the movies quick. Yeah,
but yeah, this line right here, this happened. And
well, no, you know what got me the most was when then after those 2 lines, he Deadpool wink at the camera.
Yeah, he looked at the audience.
Yeah,
I was like, did this one line kill? Like Frank was saying earlier, did this kill any kind of remake or reboot idea they had?
I hope so, because man, I mean, that thing is 3 times shy. They cannot get that going. But with him, if he behaves himself, and also that's wonderful thing about the ending of the introduction you created for this show, Fat, that every time I see that moment, I'm going, oh, so good. Yeah. The first Blade was so good. The other 2 not so much. But if they could do it, yeah, go ahead, Frank.
I also love how he finally wore his helmet.
Yeah,
that was great.
Logan,
that was fantastic.
Oh my God, Logan putting on it and proving once again that it would have worked all along.
Of course,
all along it would have worked. But you know, the early days, people were scared. We're like,
but actually,
everybody has to have black.
What movie?
Black outfit.
One movie in the most was actually the end credits when they show all those the footages of the.
Yeah, that was fun. The little
that
montage.
was great. That was nice. Yeah,
that was fun. Yeah,
and also and if you haven't seen it, the end credit sequence is a lot of fun too.
Oh yeah,
it's a nice callback. Except, of course, I still wanted Patrick Stewart to show up.
Yeah, no, the X-Men should have shown up. Yeah,
it's really interesting because the rest of the movie is one way. And that ending sequence on that street is very artificial and very confined. Everything else has been really open. But then again, I guess they did it entirely on whatever that set is called.
The open scene, those are all shot on green screen, and then that sequence, at the street.
Those were all shot on the volume. The volume is
the volume, right? The volume, right?
It's not green screen.
Right. Yeah. What I meant was the volume.
Yeah.
But that scene in the street, they're all shot in England at Pinewood Studio.
That explains it. But it was also very contained. And I wanted them to be on the 007 set, but I don't know how much this thing costs. But in any case,
they started at Pinewood, but definitely, I mean, obviously not on the 007 stage.
Yeah. So I believe that's it, everybody. I mean, do we have any? August is already off to a good start with Batman Caped Crusader, and we'll talk about it in a month. And we'll see you on Monday for the recap playlist of the 27th annual Kung Fu Extravaganza.
And I'm going to keep pushing it, but you guys better go see Twilight of the Warriors next Friday, August 9th.
Hold on. Boom.
Oh, boom.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
I got your back, Frank. I got your back.
Thank you.
And guess.
See you guys Monday. This Monday coming up at 5 p.m. Pacific time. We're gonna do the Kung Fu Extravaganza recap episode and hang out with us there. So.
And guess where I was on Sunday, seeing that very movie.
Oh, who's that? I don't.
That's my nephew and his girlfriend.
Okay.
Oh.
But we're at the New York Asian Film Festival.
You didn't get to take a picture with Philip?
No, I could have, but I didn't want to because I was coming in late. I wasn't on the list, but the staff members were going, "Hey!" And we were talking. Got a free T-shirt. So
there was a seat for you to sit and watch the movie.
There was a seat, but I didn't take it.
Oh, you didn't see the movie?
I did see the movie, but I had to send my nephew and his girlfriend had to go back to Philadelphia. So I went. I sent them off, and then I went to the back. I stood in the back of the hall.
Oh, okay.
And that was a good way to see it, but I'll see it again.
Okay. Well, here you go, Rick.
Frank is right.
This is from Shin earlier.
There you go,
I missed
Shin.
his comment earlier. So yeah, next month for definitely.
So the Caped Crusader, is that on Max?
No, it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, Amazon Prime.
Don't forget. Also, this is this month. Rick,
oh yeah,
so Frank, you got to join us for this one.
Oh yeah. Well, I was at the panel. I went to the Hall H panel for Ramen.
Oh, I saw footage of that. I'm so jealous.
Awesome. They showed two
face huggers going around the audience on the floor.
They showed two scenes from the film. They showed the chest bursting scene, which was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
So cool. Did you get the face hugger?
Yes, I did. I got
it. You got one.
Yeah. I saw the picture.
Really? I missed it. I missed it somehow.
Yeah.
Bring it for the next AFAs and show us.
If anybody's seen the director's first hit, which was Don't Speak, this is the alien version of Don't Speak. Almost exactly.
Reboot.
Almost exactly.
Yeah. Rick, I have a prediction. Like Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, my prediction is that Alien Romulus will be the apology movie for the last film.
Well, I don't think there's any question. He's coming at it in the right direction.
Right.
Well, but then there were already hints that this film tied not only to Alien. Well, this film was supposed to happen 15 years after what happened in the first Alien film.
Right.
This film supposedly would also tie to Alien Covenant.
Well, I'm sure it will because, of course, Ridley is the producer of it. Mm-hmm. But I don't give a flying F that it does because I'm not a big fan of movies
Alien Covenant fans
that hate humans. I mean, I do not like hateful movies. I don't think this is hateful because this guy is very smart. He's doing the same thing Abigail did. He's doing this. They're doing the same thing that Don't Speak did. There is no one to root for. Everybody in Covenant was lovely. They were wonderful people. They didn't need to be sadistically treated the way he is. Everybody in Romulus deserves it. So I don't have a problem.
Now, do you think the people in Romulus are going to deserve it, or do you think you're going to care about them?
Oh no, there's no way to care about them. They're just like the characters in Don't Speak. They're thieves. They're there to take care of themselves, not to do nice things for other people, the way in Covenant was. We had the main core characters in Covenant were good. Everybody else was an idiot. There were scientists who go, I'm putting my finger in this alien thing, but every single character, they may do the same thing that they did in Don't Speak. We had one female character who is slightly sympathetic.
Yeah, at least give us one.
Part of the Kaylee character.
But they're not good people.
They're not
good people. Give us good death scenes.
Yeah.
Although it's too bad that, I went to the panel, like I said, although it's too bad that the Chinese actress, I think her name is Eileen Wu or Colin Wu, she wasn't there. She was actually apparently making another movie at the same time.
So.
This was her first film. She's the one that got the chest bursting thing.
Yeah.
is already supported in the trailer. But
it's a very clever movie, but it's and also I don't if you like people being murdered, you're going to enjoy this one because these people don't deserve to be murdered, but they don't deserve to be kept alive.
Kill them.
So enjoy.
Oh man! Oh,
Same
all right,
thing with
guys.
kill.
Don't forget. Oh, before we end it, don't forget. Check the links in the description box below to go to Ric's store to get a piece of.
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
Oh, you want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
You got it!
Get a piece of Ric.
And also, tell them we're not going to have Ask Ric anything this time, I gather.
No, I didn't get a chance to put it together, but it's okay.
All right. Okay.
Next
So
AFA,
if you
we'll do a Ask Ric panel.
Yeah, if you have questions for me, collect them and send them in.
I'll do a week before so we get some good stuff. All right, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Old Samurai Guy. Keep watching movies. Keep enjoying life. And we'll see you badasses on the next one. Oh, great
and good asses and smart
and good
asses.
and smart asses.
See you Monday.
Bye.
Schnick it.
Still live.
Still going.